Alrighty, students, we are doing this series here on back trading or back testing. I've heard them referred to as either way. They both mean the same thing. So we're going to talk about that today through our, let's see, here we go. Why is it not moving? Oh, maybe because I didn't put it here. There we go. Through our optimal trading. Okay, and so we're going to talk about that. Today we're talking about back testing. Okay, so I'm gonna first just get into the basics. And the first question would naturally be, what is back testing? Okay, so what is back testing or back trading can be referred to either way. I got this right off of Investopedia. It says back testing is the general method of seeing how well a strategy or model would have worked post fact. Okay, back testing assesses the viability of a strategy by discovering how it would have performed using historical data. Okay, so basically what you're going to do when you're back testing, so if we understand the basics of it, is we're going to say if you wanted to trade a certain strategy, okay, you can actually go back, pull up stocks from days past, okay, and you can actually go through the day, even though the day has been done live, not live as in live when the market's open, but like you can go back through the day as if it is live and go bar by bar and see, what's going on and if your strategy would have worked out. Okay, so what's really cool about back testing is that it really it gives you the opportunity to essentially put yourself in the position where you can literally time travel. You can go back in time and see what your strategy would have done, right? And here it states back testing can be an important step in optimizing your trading strategy. Okay, that's very important. So why back test? Well, because what back testing is it gives you an opportunity to optimize. Okay, so we know what it is, right? Why do I do it? And why, even after all these years of trading, why do I still every day back trade? Well, why do I do it? Because all I'm gaining is time in the seat that is so valuable. When you back trade, you are gaining experience. Okay, when you back trade, I'm going to say that again, you are gaining experience. That is the absolute most important part. So as opposed to going live bullets, in the market and just seeing if your strategy works, what you're going to lose a whole lot of money doing that. And the bottom line is when you get into trading, you are going to lose some skin in this game. That's just a part of the process. Now, how much you lose is based upon your educational foundation and upon how you temper yourself as a trader. One of the number one ways to learn how to see things in real time is to back trade. So this is why even after all these years of trading, I still back test every single day. I back test at least 3 stocks a day during the week, and over the weekend, my goal is usually 20. Okay, people are like, that's crazy. Yes, you're right. I love success, and I love being optimal. I love knowing that I am going to be highly efficient when I do something, and because of that, I am willing to back trade and back test like nobody's business because all I'm gaining is time as a trader. Okay, so I'm gaining years, literally months, weeks, years of trading when I back test. And this is what will allow people to become better. And I got to tell you, this is one honest truth. When I am back testing, I notice that during live market hours, I see things so much clearer than I did prior to my back testing. Okay, so this is important, and this is something that I got to teach, and this is something that I would like anybody who is working with me or studying under me to thoroughly understand. This is it. Okay, I want to be clear about a few things, man. There is no easy way in this game. There's no easy way in this stock market. So, you might get lucky here and there. Okay, you might hear all kind of people telling stories about how they made thousands of dollars. The other day, I was talking to a guy, and he found out that I was a trader. He was like, "Oh man, yeah, I made 100K on X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Hey man, good for you." Okay, because what I know he not telling me is he probably lost 200,000 in the long haul because A lot of people don't want to do this little thing, which is back test, and take the time to really become very very strong in your foundation, man. So I'm not going to rattle on. I want to reiterate, it is very important that you do this. This is how you gain time in the seat. Okay. So what I'm going to show people is how I do it. Now listen, there's multiple methods to doing this, right? But this is my method. This is what works for me. Okay. I created a back trading log, and all this stuff you can create here. This is free, man. Via, what do you call that? Google Docs, Google Slides. And so I have some that I was doing already, okay, but I'm going to act as if this is one that I haven't seen. This is actually a stock today that I did not see, okay. So for starters, what I'll do is I'm not going to back trade this stock, so I'm going to pull it back. So this is today's daily candle. I'm going to pull back to here, and I'm going to blank this out, okay. I don't want to know what happened. I try not to look at these numbers over here. I don't want to know what happened. I want to actually trade this as pure as I possibly can. And you're going to see certain things. You're gonna kind of know what the overall theme was. But at the end of the day, I try to make sure I don't know what's happening. Okay. And so the one that I did not have any lines drawn on anything, at least in my stocks to trade, is TBLT. Okay. And so what I do is I pull up the stock, and here it is on the daily. Okay. All right. So the first basic thing I'm going to do is I want to see this on the daily chart. Now remember, today, which is January 2nd, we can't see what happened. I just know that this was one of the stocks that was a mover today, because I usually always back trade the most volatile stocks, which leads to a question. Okay. Let me do it this way. Let me add a slide. I apologize, I'm doing this on the fly, but somebody asked this question, and it begs to, I'll answer it. Okay, what stocks do you back trade? / how do you find them? Stocks to back trade. Okay, which is a good, very legitimate question. Okay, let me pull this over here. Hey guy, wait a minute, buddy, what's going on? There we go. That should make this better. Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, and so I have a very good answer. There's a couple of ways to do it. Number one, I always look at the most volatile the most volatile stocks in the market. Now remember, keep in mind, I only trade penny stocks. I trade anything under $20. I'm never going over $20, and usually I'm never going over $10. And it's got to be a really good stock. But I trade anything under $10 or less. Okay, so I have stocks to trade. I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to be a penny stock trader. I trade pennies. I trade under $10, and I trade listed stocks. When people hear penny stocks, they always think the OTC market. The OTC market, I agree with anybody who thinks like how scary it is, and that it's crazy and it's not as well regulated, and I agree. I've seen some crazy things happen with OTCs, but I trade listed stocks, which means stocks off the New York Stock Exchange, Amex, and what am I forgetting? There's one more. I can't remember the other one. But anyway, these are listed stocks, okay? So I'm not trading pink sheets at all. My strategy is always geared towards listed stocks. But I have stocks to trade, and it'll tell you the stocks that had the biggest percent change. I focus my attention and my energy on stocks pre-market that have the highest percent change. I want to know who's booming, who's got volume, and why. Okay, because these stocks, not this one, but I know 1, 2, 3. I can actually look at that one as well. And 4. None of these stocks right here, they were all booming pre-market as well. Okay, and so you can see they had good volume for penny stocks, and essentially, I always look at big percent gainers. That's where the party's at. I want to be at the party where there's 490 million people, not at the party where there's a 1 million, a couple hundred. Let me see if I got got anything that had a couple 100,000 today. Now look, this one, MERE. I don't want to be at this party, 424,000. No, I want to be at this party. There's a reason why there's 490 million people there. That means the money is moving, and you want stocks that move, because I'm day trading, right? So anyhow, that's how I find them. I just basically look here. If you don't have stocks to trade, it is not hard. I bet you can just Google, and let's do it together just so we can see what happens. Let me go here. What is this? Okay, that's how I pull my image. But let's go. All news, just so we can see top percent gainers under $10. And it should bring us something back. Okay, that's 2012. We don't want any of that. Any of these free bar chart, there's a ton of these free softwares. You can find all of this stuff for free. I'm just kind of showing you. I'm going the longer route so people can see and understand that there's just a ton of options out there that are free. I try to do most things free, but I do pay for 2 charting software. I trade for my stocks to trade, which I absolutely love and would not live without because it's built for penny stocks. And then I go through TradingView. I've just had it. This is like you know how when you first start on something and you just like that's your base. I first started on TradingView, and you can do searches on TradingView as well. You can do screeners to find out, but it's not hard. My point is, it's not hard with a little bit of research to find out who the top money makers were. Okay, so here goes. You can see this right here, percent change. Oh, what are you doing? Percent change right here, and you can see it that way. And then you can also you can begin to filter these, which I would imagine with these screen here, you can filter these and you can put price lower than a certain number, and that way you get everything that you're looking for. Okay, but that's how you find them. I just wanted to make sure people understood how you can find them to back test them in the first place, right? Okie dokie. Let me go back over here. Now, the first thing I do is I pull up the daily chart prior to today's data. I don't want to see today's data on the chart. I want to be as blind as a mouse. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll just go to the basic stuff. Like I just look at key areas of support and resistance. Like that area, you see it came here, bounce, came back here, bounce. I like that area. Okay, look it all the way through. I wasn't even looking to the right yet, but I just seen these key pivots. Okay, so I love key pivot areas. I like clean charts. That's just kind of my preference. I'm sure it would be everyone's preference. If it's too choppy, man, I'm good, you know, because then you're just guessing. But when I see key pivot areas, come down here, pivot comes back up, and pivots comes back down. Pivots off that same area, comes back up, pivots again, and then breaks through and pivots. But see, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so the first thing I do is I just draw my lines. Okay, I don't know where this stock is going. I don't know where the gap to. I have no idea at this point because I actually did not look at the stock today. I can tell you this, it's an ugly long-term daily chart, and I will make note of that. Look at all this. Every time it comes up, red, 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 it just sells off. That tells me that this stock is highly diluted. They probably did all kind of reverse splits and offerings, and that's what happens when you do too much of that because it just dilutes your stock. And then any time that it gaps up, the people who want to get, you know, people who were lost money up here, they're just going to sell off, you know. So these are stocks that are hard to run. So you got to really be careful of that. But when you see this kind of stock, all this red, 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 it makes you wonder why the company even exists. If all they want to do is sell it off, they don't want to do well. It's weird, right? This is ugly. Okay, it's an ugly daily chart. All right, so now I know what I'm looking for in regards to I know what the daily looks like. So now I'm going to pull it back a little bit because I know when I switch to the hourly, it's going to move it, and I don't want to see today's data. So now here I am pulling it back, and now I'm switching. Oh, wait. I apologize. Let me go back to the 1 day because I actually have a whole process in which, let's see. December 19th. So we gotta have more days. Oh, I hope I didn't show. I did. That's all right. All right, here we go. Boom. So once I get this daily, what I'll do, because this is me, you don't have to track it like I do, but I'm very diligent because I really love success. And when you do that, Makes it easier. I screenshot it. Okay, so here I am. Sometimes, man, it depends on your computer. God, I hate screenshotting on my computer because there we go. I got it. Sometimes it just doesn't do it. Right? It takes forever. Sometimes I got to do it like 8 times. Okay. Now I have a log, a log called my back trading log, and today is the 2nd, and so you can already see that I was already doing some work in here. But what I'll do is I got my date. This is my little January calendar of my back trading log, and I am going to now add a new slide, and I'm going to put TBLT daily. Now remember, this is my method. You can come up with your own. I'm very visual, and so I go back and I look at things, and it really helps me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the background, and I am going to choose an image, and I'm going to take that, and I'll apologize, but it will make sense why I have a somewhat drawn out method. Picture, screenshots. All right, boom. Here we go. Go down. You can see I've been screenshotting a ton of stocks because that's what I do. Okay. I like to go back and look and make sure that I'm seeing everything crystal clear. Okay, now done. All right, good. Now I'll go back over here and I'll slide this back over, and I'm going to pull up the hourly chart because I look at 3 charts before I make any kind of decisions. Okay, because I'm going to write a game plan up as if this was live bullets in the morning. Okay, so let me go find our day, which is the 31st, should be the last day that I want to see. I don't know why. Okay, that sucks. There we go, right there. And you're gonna go through your growing pains. Sometimes I fall into the day that I want, but I try to, as best as I can, not see what was going on. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to go to the hourly chart, and I'm going to just put key areas of support and resistance. For whatever reason, it came here, boom, it pivoted. This seems to be a pretty good pivot area, and we bring it through, and it coalesces. Okay, good. Here, I'm just going to go here and bring this down, tap it. All right, and I want to put this last one in. I always do the most recent pivots, like the last pivot, just for whatever reason, I like to do that. Okay, all right. So now I see what's going on the hourly chart. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to screenshot it. Okay, boom, please work. Yeah, see, it does that, but I don't even know what the heck that is. But it's okay. It's okay. We're here to learn. All right, well, I'm going to try this one more time. If it doesn't screenshot, I'm going to move on. But you're going to get the point because I can show you examples. All right, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. I tried it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it back just a tad bit more to make sure I don't see today, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the 15-minute because I like to look at 3 charts. Multiple time frame analysis. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so here we go. All right, so usually here I don't really draw new lines. I fine tune them off of the hourly because you can see it better. So here, I'm looking for areas like this pivot. This is a candle that kind of went. This is a candle that went. Okay, so I just kind of fine tune it. All right, so here we go. Now I got this thing framed, and then I would screenshot it. Let me try it, see if it works. Oh, we got it there. Okay. I'm going to add the file that I just took. Here. FCEL. Okay. Oh no, this is TBLT 15-minute. Okay. Add that photo there. And I know for some of you that are a little more advanced, this might seem long and like tedious, but there's some people who literally don't know whatsoever. And so like I try to I teach to somebody who really have never done this, just don't know, So I want to show them the process, and sometimes it seems like it takes a while, but it's really advantageous to see all of it. Okay, now I've looked at this thing on the hourly, I looked at this thing on the daily, I looked at this thing on the 15-minute chart. Okay, this is why I have two. I'm sure I can pay for the data on TradingView to get pre-market data. So I can see the candlesticks, but now I'm at TBLT and my stocks to trade. The reason why I love this is because, first of all, it's built for penny stocks. One, two, it has all the pre-market data. So now I'm looking at the pre-market, okay? And so pre-market is telling me, all right, let me go ahead and draw my lines, okay? This is important to me. Pre-market is telling me that from this area it's been taken off, okay? So from the 21 area it took off, it came all the way up here, pulled back. So I'm going to go ahead and get that area, and this is another launching area. I just want to get that area, okay? And I'm going to show you some other examples because some of these are ugly, but it's all good. This one's ugly to me. I wouldn't trade this in the morning. There's better stuff out there, but I had already marked up these other ones, so I wanted to show you the whole process. Okay, so now here's what I'm going to do. Now I look at this, I say, okay, 21, that's a really good, see, this is a breakout area. If it opens here and it goes, I'm not interested because I don't even take a trade within the first usually 10 to 15 minutes of the market. I let the first 5 minutes of volatility play out. Okay. But here's what I'm going to do. I see that there's a key pre-market buy area at 21 cents. Okay, so I just want to keep that locked in my mind. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to look at that daily again. Not really a daily. I don't have to look at the daily, but I really just want to look at this. Okay, all right, this is interesting to me. So I already have a pivoted support area at 21. So let's say if this stock is gapping up a little bit. I can say like, okay, if this thing pulls back to 21, I don't mind being a buyer here because there's a support. Okay. And so I kind of like that. I like that there's a really close support area. So if it's gapping from 19 cents up to, the 21, 22 range, even higher. For me, I like it better because I want it to sell off a little bit and come here to a strong area of support where we got old resistance is now new support. And that's where I want to buy. I don't want to buy when it's breaking out. That's fine for those who are breakout buyers. But man, I've seen too many fake outs. And so I'd much rather bring it back down. Okay, so up here at 23, yeah, come on back down to 21. And I'll buy here because here's why I'll buy. Because look at this big strong candle. Look at this big strong candle. This tells me that people want to buy in this area. Okay, this is where the buyers are. Well, if that's where the buyers are, that's where Marv will be, right? I'll buy right there. I'll be where the buyers are. I'm not buying up here. This is where the sellers are. Okay, so I don't want to get faked out. So now I already know where I want to buy. So here's what I do next. I go back to my PowerPoint and I write a plan. Okay, I don't do any. This is exactly how I trade during the day. I'm gonna go ahead and add a text box. Okay, and here's what I will say. Okay, all right, game plan. Daily chart is the shits because it is. Stock looks very diluted because it is. However, it has good pre-market volume. Although this is not, compared to the others, this is not good pre-market volume. I'm just giving you an example of what I would say. Okay, and if the stock pulls back to daily support, let me say that better, hourly and 15-minute chart support at point, I think it was 21, I said 21 cents, I am a buyer. Okay, so there's my game plan. Now I know where I'm going to be willing to get in at. I know I just told it what I wanted to do. Okay, now plan B. Go ahead and do it like this. That's plan A. Oops. Plan B. If stock breaks out at the open, then I will watch and wait for a pullback in let me say it this way, in new key support areas based off of today's price action. Okay, so now I know what I'm looking for. If this thing breaks out, I'm not chasing it. I'm gonna let it come back, and I'm gonna draw lines and see where the stock wants to be supportive and where buyers want to come in at, and that's how I'm gonna play that. Okay, so I'm telling you guys, this is my game plan. This is how I'm about to work it. And if it don't fulfill what I require it to do, then I'm just not a buyer. Okay, so I always talk about, I always refer to things as the optimal buy zone. On this chart, with this daily, with this pre-market, to me, the optimal buy zone today, based off what it's showing me today, I ain't talking about next week, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today is 21 cents. I like to buy at the optimal buy zones. That's how I play the game. Because when you get them at the optimal buy zones, which is usually on sale, meaning for the low price on the day, you always have, your success rate is so much higher. Okay, so now I got a game plan. So now here's what I do. So I go over here. I have this on the 10-day, 2-minute. You can do it by the 1 minute. I never trade off of a 1 minute chart, but that's just preference. You can do it however you like. Some people do it off the 5 minute. It don't matter to me. Okay, I only back trade between what we would call 6:30 to 9 West Coast time, what they would call 9:30 to noon East Coast time. And the reason why I only trade from 6:30 to 9 is because by 9 o'clock, I'm taking my kids to school. So I make this as realistic for my trading day as possible, and I suggest you do the same. I don't know what your timetable is or what your schedule is, or if you might trade only from noon to I have no idea what your schedule is. Okay, so I don't do the whole day because I never trade a whole day. I quite frankly don't care what happens to a stock after noon. To me, the market closes at noon because at noon, I'm headed out to do whatever I got to do. Take my kids to school, go teach classes, go mind my business. Okay. So that's how I look at it, and that's how I approach it, because I ain't got time to be chasing anything, right? So now, let the games begin. So I just, let me make sure that I have the cursor selected, because it'll just make another line if I do. Okay, good. Okay, now I just click and drag. I know that there are some softwares that will actually play it live. You can just hit the play button and you pause it, and you can go as fast as you want. But I literally just click it and I just go one candle at a time. Okay, so here's the first thing that I see. What did I say? My game plan said I wanted this thing to pull back. Did it pull back? No, it broke out. Okay, I had no idea it was going to do that. I actually don't know what this stock did today. Okay, so I'm going to now let it go. Okay, so usually at the 15-minute mark, wherever 45 is, let's see. Okay, there we go, 40. Come on, thing. Okay, all right, now the next thing that I start to do is now, where are my lines? Okay, so what we already see is some consolidation here. Okay, I already drew this line from pre-market. So at this point, moving into the market is moved for about 15 minutes. The stock is broken out. It's telling me it wants to run today. I am a buyer in the 23 to 21 range. Okay, this is 22, 23 to 22. This is where I'm interested in buying at this point, because the stock is broken out. It's got some good volume. I don't expect it to pull all the way back to 21. Now the next new best area at this point in the market is here. When we get later in the day, I feel different. Okay, but early on, this is when things spike. This is when everything is moving. Okay, so let's just say this. If this stock pulls back, because now this is my plan B. If this stock pulls back to 22, I'm a buyer with a stop at 21. Okay, I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's go. Okay, so now we're getting close. Okay, and it came, nope, so it's still working. So now I'm just going through Hey, Camille. That's my daughter. I'm making. She has to clearly do something. Anyway, so here we go. It didn't touch my number. I said 22.4. This is my line for 22.4. Sometimes you can adjust this if you want, but here's where I had it set, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. Okay. So I'm looking for it to pull back here. I can tell you it's not looking good. Okay, because it came here and it had a very weak bounce. But whatever. I'm still in the game because it's still in my time frame of which I would like to trade this stock. Okay, so I needed to hit this, and you guys believe it or not, if it don't hit my number, I don't touch it. I just won't. I don't even care. I'll just watch it and miss it if that's the case. But I'm not. I've just learned, you do this long enough, you losing enough shirts, you over it. All right, we got close again. Look at how close we got the second time. Okay, this is a good sign though, I can tell you that. When this holds, that tells me that this is a strong buy area. Now, why would we think that? One, look at this candle. Look at how big and strong this candle is. That's also in tandem with this strong candle from pre-market and intent. Love you too, baby. And also in tandem with this strong candle pre-market. So this is a good, this area right here is good. Thank you for counting to 10 and watching what's up. Sorry, man. You know how when you a parent, you understand. Okay, but anyhow, so let's keep this thing going. Let's let it roll and let's see how it does. Still, even with this spiked camera, the candle still didn't get to me. So this is one. Look at that, boom, and it exploded. This is one that I just would have missed. Okay, and would have been very disappointed in missing. We see that that the low of this is 22.5, and we was looking for 22.4. So unfortunately, I didn't get into this one. Okay, and some people would be like, well, why come you didn't adjust? You can adjust if you want per your plan. I don't adjust per my plan because I've also seen these things come here. Can you turn off the light, please? I've also seen these things come here and then just crack and sell off. Okay, so I stick to what I said I was going to do because I've learned that when you do that, when you are disciplined enough to stick to your script, man, you become such a better trader. Okay, so here we are at 11:30. So what I also will do, okay, as this is moving on, let me go ahead and chalk up the next areas that need to be looked at as potential buy areas. Okay, so first of all, we need this one. Okay, consolidated here, and then I'm gonna come right down here to where it these right here. This is why I put it there, just so you understand why. Okay, so some people, the way they trade, they might have looked at this as if it came and tested this again, they'll take it as another breakout, and that'd have been fine. That's just not what I'm gonna do. Okay, and then the other one I want to put right here. Those 3 wicks at there. Some people don't like the wicks, but I do because I just, the price was there. The price was there. Why would I ignore it? All right. Okay. So what's happened here is as this is broken out again, you can look at these now as potential areas to buy. Okay. I wouldn't buy here at 24. I just don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. Truth be told, if I'm a buy, I want to buy either here at 23, pending on how the stock pulls back, or right here at 22. 20. Well, actually, they're both. What is this? 24, 24, and 23. So this is my range down here now. Okay, because I want to make sure that it has enough room to get back up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and look at that. That's interesting how that works. See how I drew this support? Had no idea. Look at it. Came right back here and it bounced off of that. Okay, that's why you have to continue to draw support as the day moves. Now, traditionally, I got 10 minutes. Okay, about here. This is probably it. Traditionally, right here, I'm done. I'll go do a new stock because normally I don't have the time, to be looking at this past that because I would never see it anyway. But I'm just going to slide this through just out of curiosity. I just want to see if this thing ever pulled back to my area. Look at this. So it broke out even higher, and I forgot to draw some. It would be new lines here. Okay, boom, I would put a line there. And look, it broke out up to 30 at this point. Okay, so now that really makes this area, this 25 area, a pretty strong purchase area. You know, it's a strong buy area because you have the pivot here. That old resistance is now support, and it came back here once, and so I'd be a taker at that 25 area. But let's keep going. Let's see as we go into lunch. I don't really trade through lunch because that's when the volume it decreases and then it picks back up about 130, 230-ish, depending on the stock. Okay, here we go. It gave us this number again. So if I was, you know, paying attention and I really wanted to do it, I can buy it here. But all of that begins to be based on time. But y'all can see, let me see, we wanted it here, 25.4. And it spiked up to 20. What's the high? 27. That's actually good because this is a sub. This is sub $1, which means then for a 10% win, you only need to move 2 cents, 2.9 cents to be exact. So it's good. It's a win. It's a good way to win. Okay. I'm just gonna, and this is all pre-market or post-market now. Okay, so that's pretty much how that works. So that's how you would work through that, and you see how you, as you're moving, you know, you put your lines of support and resistance in, and so I would do this basically nonstop for several stocks, and I'll give you an example of that. This is just one. This is how I do it. Okay, and then what I do when it's all said and done is I take a screenshot of this, and if the trade that I call for triggered, I will write into there, yeah, like, okay, yeah, I would have been, you know, filled at this price, and it ended up doing this, and it would have worked, or I would have, you know, this one would have been loser for whatever reason. So let me go here so I can show you those. So let me just go down because I know this is what I'm going to work on today when actually this video renders. But okay. Let me go present from here. Okay, so December 31st. These were some of the stocks that, let me make sure that I was working on. Okay, so here's FCEL daily. I gave the game plan. Stock is breaking out from the lows and is gapping to around. And I apologize if you notice some grammatical errors because I usually don't even fix them. This is my own personal deal. But anyway, gapping to around 225. Area at the moment. The daily chart shows great support at 212 area from an old gap. Everyone under the area is trapped and may cause some spiking early. So this is what I'm telling myself. In conjunction with the pre-market chart, the 212 area is a great place to buy. But in my opinion, if the stock falls back to 2 at the open, the $2 area is the optimal keyword. So I'm looking at the optimal area, but based on this daily chart, you know, these are the things that's going on. All right, and so let me go down. So now this is FCEL on the hourly chart, right? And so I look at this on the hourly going into the market to make sure that it's, you know, I see everything. Here's it on the 15-minute, and so I got it all divvied up to make sure that I'm seeing it, right? And so let me see the hourly. No, the hourly is too far back. Okay. All right. Now, here it is. Now this is me back trading it, okay? Stock actually did exactly what I wanted. It pulled into my optimal buy zone for the day and took off to 280. So here it is. So remember I said the optimal buy zone is $2. There's the $2 range. It actually pulled down to probably this candle is probably about, I would guess, 195-ish. And then look, off to the races, 280. So if you would have got this at $2, which I thought was the best location based off the pre-market. So remember, this is stuff that's perking pre-market. So what I'm looking at, when I see big volume, I just look at the old charts just to make sure I can frame it. Okay. When it got to 212, I knew 212 was going to be good because it showed me on a daily that this is a very good area for support. It's going to turn into good support. I'm looking at that to confirm this, and I'm saying today, on this particular day, which was December 31st, this is the optimal area for today, in my opinion. okay, based off of all the evidence, okay. And so that's what I do, and I do this over and over. So we'll look at the next one, okay. This is NVCN. This is the daily chart game plan. The stock is beat down. Had to include the weekly chart to show how diluted and screwed up the stock is. It's gapping and holding a range of 682 to 850-ish. Not really interested in trading the stock because it's beat down. But if I was a buyer, it would be at the 680 area where the pre-market optimal buy zone sets up. Okay, so here we go. Here's the hourly chart. A lot of this doesn't matter in a 15-minute chart because it's gapping up well over this. Okay, it's doubling in price. This is a 15-minute. Here's what happened. Okay, so here's my area drawn. Okay, it pulls. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 candles right into my optimal buy zone based off of the pre-market for that day. Okay, and boom, shoots up to 850. Ain't that something? Okay, and then it promptly pulls back, and then it drops and it fades off. I don't know where it finished for the day, but you get my point. Okay, so I'm actually writing the plan before I see what happens, and so now when I get to live bullets, I feel a lot better and a lot stronger during real time when I'm trading these stocks. Okay. All right, VIVE daily chart game plan. The daily chart looks bad. Stock is at its lows, but the hourly shows support at the 104 level. Okay. The 15-minute chart shows a breakout at the 93-cent level. Pre-market shows the optimal buy zone at 89 with the breakout at 93. If it pulls back to 89, it's worth buying with a stop at 86. Okay, so there's my plan. Here's the hourly, which is ugly. Here's the 15-minute. Okay, those are those levels I was talking about. Okay, here we go. Boom. Let's look at it. Okay, it says stock hit my optimal trading zone right at the open. I hate when that happens. Okay, because I don't like trading the first 5 minutes. And then made a 10% move, which is what I'm always looking for. However, I am not a fan of taking trades until 15 minutes within the open. So the second best play was the pullback at 650-ish into the 92 area. Didn't I speak at that on my game plan that 93 was a breakout area, which makes it, now that it broke out past it, it makes it strong support. Okay. All right. Where the already support from the pre-market and hourly chart. See, I just confirmed what I just said. The second trading opportunity ended up being a 10% winner as well. The key is how soon and the way that the stock pulled back. It was relatively quick pullback and not an elongated pullback. When the stock has an elongated pullback, better to wait for the absolute best optimal area to buy. So what I was saying, let's see here. Boom. Where's the 92? Okay, so this one right here. Boom. It goes and it pulls right back. Okay. Within 3 to 4 candles, it's back down here. And then boom, you can buy it. See how I drew that new level? And this was already there from pre-market. And that was a good area to buy. Okay. If it would have had this, see how this is this elongated pullback? I don't like those because all it's waiting to do is crack deeper. So whenever I see that, at that point, like let's say some people would have tried to buy it here, I would have waited all the way to here, and if it never touched it, it just never touched it because I hate when they take forever to pull back. Those scare me. I usually see those usually crack. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, December 30th. All right, SVRA. The daily chart was not looking very good, but stock was gapping from lows up to the $4 area. We'll pick best entry based off of pre-market support and resistance, which was around 350, with the optimal trading location being $3. That's what I said pre-market. Okay. Here's the hourly chart. You can see this is what I like to see though. This is clean, my friend. Pull up, pivot, pull up, pivot. Okay. Pivot. These are clear pivots. I like that. It makes it so much easier to trade the chart. Okay. 15-minute. Okay. Good. Here we go, SVRA back trading. Stock pulled back in the morning to the first pre-market area at 355 and then made a 10% run. It basically established a gun chart and spiked the $6 range in the last hour. So if you would have watched the rest of it, you would have saw that it kind of baseline. If you don't know what a gun chart is, I'll just have to make it. When I give you a perfect example, I'll just do that later. I apologize. Okay, but here we go. What did I say? 355. I said the optimal area was 3. The first, let me go back to the daily just so I can make sure I said it right. Okay, area it says which was around 350. Okay, yeah, so I hit it right. So 355 is the first one. Boom, this is the 355 area. I wanted it down here because you can get a better return. And then it moved. Okay, so there was the opportunity right there. Boom, boom. After 15 minutes in the market, that's exactly what I love. I'm going to give you just a few more examples because I don't like any video going over the 50-minute mark. Students lose 27. Now, I did a bunch of trading this weekend. Not trading, but back trading. Okay, here we go. Game plan. CYDY has been running well. Lately, it looks very overextended and is gapping up roughly 10 cents. I would like the stock to pull back to the previous daily support of 78. If it does, we'll buy there. If not, and it spikes at the open, we'll buy the first pullback at 650-ish. So I understand, how these things run. Okay, here we go. Hourly chart. By the way, oops. Well, I was trying to go back. I apologize. Hold on a second. Can't see because I'm in a dark room. Okay, hourly chart. Clean. See these clean areas where it pivots? That's always what you're looking for. All right. By the way, what makes this hard is this is a OTC. It doesn't have pre-market. So you have to, like for me, I will never buy OTC at the open. I just won't. Okay, I have to let it set itself up, and I didn't do a good job of putting the lines in for this one. But this is one of those deals where you're gonna have to let it pivot. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna put a line there. I'm gonna put a line where it based. Okay, and after this next run, when it pulls back again, those will be the areas I would be looking to buy. Okay, so I didn't do a very good job with that one in regards to my analysis. I need to make sure that I do that. FCEL. So these are just examples over and over again. Okay, so you get the point, you get my drift. Now I have, because I've gotten so good at doing this, in the morning I get up, I'm there by 5 a.m. and let's see, basically in the morning, this is what I do. I get up at like 5, do a workout, and then I'm like ready by like 5:45ish, and then I'll just go look at stocks to trade. I'll say, okay, who's popping today? Okay, all right, this one, and I'll go look it up daily, hourly, 15-minute. Okay, and then I'll look at the pre-market, and I'll say, all right, okay, I'll go to the pre-market, and it'll have pre-market. It'll have matter of fact, let me give you a classic example. What was popping this morning? Oh, FCEL. This morning, this is what I traded today. FCEL was moving this morning. It had a ton of pre-market volume. Okay, so all right, perfect. You see, this thing is chopped liver. All right, let me just act as if the market is not open yet, and we'll get a better assessment right there. All right, so all right, this is me this morning. I came in, I looked at the daily, all of that stuff, and then I looked at the pre-market and I put my lines in. I said, okay, boom. All right, good, gotcha. All right, pivoted right here, and you notice this is, what time is this? 8. Okay, so this thing was not below 268 since 8 in the morning, and it had another hour and a half of trading. That tells me that it's a strong pivot area. Okay, so I also put this candle because that's a big explosive candle. I like strong explosive candles. They just always, when there's a lot of buyers, there's a lot of buyers there. So if it pulls back there, you usually get support. Okay, and so I should have wrote it today. Do I have it? What's my game? I should have had my game plan for that one. FCEL daily. Okay, but is this today? No, that's the 28th. So I'll have to go back, and I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Oh yeah, this is my small account journal. Perfect. So I have 2 accounts, and so my small account, I just journal all of this stuff. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. All right, here we go. So here's the one that I want to look at right here. So here's what I said about FCEL this morning. Is this the right one? Game plan. Stock has been running lately. Pre-market is currently at 290-ish. So this was actually active this morning. Could drop at the open. The optimal area to buy this stock at first opportunity is the 260-ish area. If it pulls back at the open to that area, I'm a buyer. Okay. So let's look at what happened. And I was like nervous because I hate when it happens fast. Here's the 260th area, right? I have these two lines here. That's where I was looking at. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the open. Right at the open, 2 candles in. Boom, pulls all the way back here, comes down to 255. I said 260ish, right? So I put my order in for 260, even though that wasn't, I don't like trading within the first 15 minutes. I was off on that one. I should have waited. Okay. Really the best area to get it would have been at this down here 240 area. Okay, in between 240 and 250, and just wait it. Okay, but boom, I do it, and this thing, boom, it takes off right in there, goes back up to 290, and then watch this. This is why you have to be willing to cut losses quickly. Came back. Now, I could have traded it here, right here, is where I could have got it. Okay, at 263, it went up to 280. What's the high? 84. That would have been where. Okay, I could have traded it if I would have waited after 15 minutes. Okay, but look at that. Boom. Sold off like nobody's business. Where did I say a good optimal area to buy was? 240. Now watch this. Okay, this is why dip buys are good. If you get it and you wait to 240, let me back this up for you see all that red. If you wait to 240, like I said, you can get it here, and then look, it runs up to, what's the high of that? 259, basically 260. Okay, so those are 2 opportunities that you had. 1, 2, actually 3 opportunities to buy this stock and win a minimum of 8%. If you know what you're doing, you know what your game plan is. So, well, it's just kind of how it goes. So anyway, I'm posting this to teach people how to back test. Okay, and if you back test, it makes the live bullets seem much more manageable. Okay, it doesn't scare you. So anyhow, hopefully you guys will benefit from that. I'm gonna let this video render and move on with the night.